I heard somebody say, "Hey, Kelly."
That was
Oh,
Vince. How's it going, Rob?
what are we gonna do with that?
Oh,
Oh,
we
there
got
we
some,
We got some.
here we go. Sorry, guys. We're
Let me bring it closer.
in a hotel in London.
Nice.
And we weren't quite ready for the,
How's it going there?
there we go.
There we go.
That's a little better.
Well enough. Can you see us okay?
Yep.
We can,
Okay, great.
Sweet.
Yeah, we just came to London today. Channel took the train from Paris, and that's very cool. We actually missed our train, though. You had to check in like a half an hour, 45 minutes before. We didn't know. So we sat at the train station there, Gare du Nord, for a couple of hours, had a bite to eat, and caught the next train. And got here about 2 hours ago.
Oh.
And checked into our hotel and everything. And we're here to look around. We're here to look around London. Some of you may know, we've talked about it a little bit, but we're seriously considering moving from Paris to London.
Also, you just arrived in London.
Yeah. That's Alberto, right?
Hi, Alberto.
Yeah. Hey, hello.
Alberto's responsible
am.
for our Discord, so everyone knows. Say hi to Alberto.
Hello, everyone. Yes, anything you want to ask about Discord, I'm here.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's also the moderator on Discord. And me and Rob, we try to moderate, but we're not as good as he is.
We're just not
do my best.
great people.
yeah.
The link is broken.
What? What was that?
The link is broken.
The link is broken.
Yes.
What link?
Discord.
Alberto will send you a new one.
Yeah, I can send a new one here in the chat because that one has to be updated because it expires after 7 days.
Is that always the case, Alberto? Because then you should let me know so I can update it in the dojo.
Yes, it has to be updated in the dojo. Yeah.
Every 7 days.
No. You can follow the instructions I sent you and just put a new link that won't expire anymore.
Okay, so
It doesn't expire at all.
can you email that to me?
Sure.
Thank you, everyone. We always do a little business before. we
Well,
launch into-
Discord is new, so we want
Yeah.
to make sure everybody's
Yeah.
cool with it.
Yeah.
And again, Alberto's our man. And you'll find him on Discord.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Do my best.
So, Robin, I'm curious, what makes you want to move to London?
Well, we have a lot of really good friends here. There's also a lot of musicians here. So those are the two things kind of on the personal front for Kelly and me. The English language, is a lot easier to work. I mean, I still would like to, we don't speak French that well. We speak some French, but not well enough, not really conversant, kind of functional. And we've been traveling off and on throughout the entire year, so we've never really been able to settle down and get into it. And recently we started looking into, renewing our visas. And it's like you have to do the thing all over again. I mean, they already have all of it. And now that we're in France, all the documents have to be translated into French. I mean, the French are out of their minds. It's just unbelievable.
The bureaucracy. Like the bureaucracy is just crazy. It's completely crazy. It's just
We speak English in New York too.
crazy.
What?
I said we speak English in New York too. You're welcome here.
Yeah, thank you. But I've been there and done that. As has Kelly, both of us lived in New York at the same time, before we were so, engaged. But, in any case, yeah. We again, like the on a personal thing, with friends, and also the musician thing, in Paris, you know, when we came over, I really wasn't too concerned about it. I figured if I need musicians, I can find them. If I need a band, you know, I might even bring somebody over from the US or whatever, because I've been doing that for 30 years. But I don't really want to do that. It's an expense, an unnecessary expense. I just, I need access to more musicians that I really feel good playing with, you know. And London, it's incredible, you know, the musicians that are here that I know, some I've worked with, and I mean, people like Pino Palladino, you know, it's like, you know, like guys like that, I can call them up and, you know, we can do something. It's not just trying to find a bass player in Paris, you know.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so
Very cool.
it's very exciting, actually, that potential.
Hmm.
So we just have to get through the visa hoop here, which is, you know, going to be challenging, but we're just going to take our time, you know, and just go through the process. You know, it takes however much time it takes to get that visa. We should be able to do it. And, you know, when it happens, it happens. So we came over just to see some friends and take a look at some neighborhoods and maybe see some places, you know, find out what's available here in the London area. For
There's
us.
Paul Thomas. Paul, is that you right there? Hi, Paul. Just down the road.
Yeah. We're apparently about a mile from each other right now, right?
No, it's crazy. Yeah, we could wave to each other from our windows, probably.
We'll figure out what we're doing and then we'll get that sorted.
But we won't be seeing you, right? We didn't get to work that out.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
we'll figure out what we're doing and
Hey,
then we'll
Michael,
Looks like
Michael, can you mute, please?
figure out what we're doing.
Sorry.
Right?
Okay,
There we go.
there we go. What were you saying, Paul?
yeah, I don't think we can get together, but if we can make it work, we will. But I'm sure you've got a lot of things to do while you're here.
Yes, but we'll do it when we come back.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'll certainly be back
Yeah.
one way or another.
Are you looking at
you
areas
know-
near the city?
Sorry?
Are you looking at areas like really in the city or real close to the city itself? Or out on the outskirts?
Outskirts would be, you know, more likely. I mean, it's very expensive here, you know, incredibly.
I know.
We'll be renting, you know, at least for some time until we find, you know, figure out what we want to do. And things that we want to, you know, we would like are like, you know, £6,000 a month, you know.
Yeah.
We don't really quite want to pay that. So
Can understand that. Yeah.
we'll see what we can find.
Sounds expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, terribly. I don't think it's going down anytime soon either, you know.
Paris is also very expensive. It's just all expensive these days.
Yeah.
It's quite a journey. All
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, compared to the US, you know, it is surprisingly so. You know, we think things are expensive in the
Really?
US. But the problem in the US is, you know, you have to pay for medical.
But we still have to pay for that anyway.
You know, they just have a better system over here for that, it seems. But anyway, I don't have a guitar here, I'm sorry. And, you know, we're just sitting here in chairs cross-legged in a hotel room. I've had something on my mind. In fact, I woke up, I had a dream. And I woke up thinking about this. And it led me to something else that I felt would be a really good subject. So I have a couple of subjects that I would like to address. You know, of course, again, it's a little difficult. I don't have a guitar, so I can't really demonstrate. But I think hopefully many of you already know it. And secondly, if not, somebody could play it. So before I go off on any kind of a tangent, you know, anything that anybody wants to talk about musically or anywhere, you know, anyway, again, no guitar, so we'll do what we can.
I would have a question.
Yes.
It's about your song Green Grass, Rainwater.
Huh?
And I was wondering if you can talk about what the lyrics are about
Huh?
and what the chord progression is, because I was trying to figure out the chords, but there
Oh,
might
really?
be something I miss. I'm sure there's something I miss.
Uh-huh. You know, I think I have the chords to Green Grass and Rainwater. So we could make that available, right?
Yeah,
To the dojo, or just send it to
on
Alberto.
Discord.
On Discord, we could make it available.
Yeah, how about that, Alberto?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
But that song, you know, it's in the key of G, right? And it's kind of, you know, cowboy chords, you know,
Mm-hmm.
E, C, B7, E minor, D, A minor, you know, it's all right around that open
Yeah.
stringy thingy, you know. So I'm not sure what's throwing you. You know, there's a B flat in there on the bridge. Bridge goes A minor, B flat, G over B, C.
Okay.
And then it's G over D, D in the root,
Mm.
chords G over D, D sharp diminished, E minor 7, E minor 7 over D. It's like that kind of thing, you know?
Okay. So it's some scratch chords.
Do, you know? Ah, shoot,
Yeah.
I wish I had a guitar because I could easily demonstrate that. But
I just am curious how you could possibly not have a guitar with you. I find that hard to believe.
I'm on a little break.
Okay, that's
We're over
fair.
here looking for some place to live, you know?
Yeah,
And you
don't
know,
want to lug a guitar around with you.
well, carry as little shit as you can
Yeah,
when you're traveling, man, you know.
for sure. Yeah.
Nice to travel light.
So how long are you there for?
We are here for we leave on the 2nd,
5 nights, right?
5 nights.
That's a quick trip.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then back to Paris. Yeah.
But I think you should tell the story of Green Grass, Rainwater. It's a good story.
I kind of wanted
Yeah.
to, if you were curious.
Yes.
So this song is the lead track on the A Day in Nashville album.
Mhm.
But you know the story.
I do.
Okay. I wasn't sure that I might have ever told you. But anyway, a couple of things about it. I mean, basically, it's about a girlfriend that I broke up with right after we took a trip to Mexico, and I knew that I couldn't do this anymore.
But you were like
Mm.
21 or something, right? Or
I might have
22.
been, I would have been 21,
Yeah.
probably 21. Yeah,
When
20.
you wrote it?
No, the girlfriend that I broke up with.
Okay.
When you were
So-
in Mexico, you were like
And
21.
well, we took a trip to Mexico together, and after that, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. So it's a true story. It's like everything about the lyric, except the end part, you know, where it's like San Diego, made San Diego at sundown. We actually played back together. But and then I split. But so that's what the song is about. And that's so 40 years later, I write this song, right? So this is how far back you can reach. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Just on the songwriting tip, you're just looking for reasons to write a song, you know? And you have real experiences that you can draw on, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody does tons of real experience that had real emotions attached to it that you haven't forgotten, you know? So that's how far back that song goes. I mean, when was that? Was it 2013? Maybe later, that album?
It's 2014.
14?
14, yeah.
13.
9 years ago.
Yeah. So anyway, you know, so that's quite late in life to be
Wow.
writing a song about that experience, you know, 40 years later or whatever. But you know, things stick with you. Like I always liked this song. I didn't know it, but I toured with Phil Lesh in 2000. Phil Lesh and Friends. And we had Billy Payne and Paul Barrere from Little Feat, John Molo on drums, who's wonderful, Phil, of course, you know, and myself on guitar. We did this song called Broken Arrow. I'd never heard it before, but it's Robbie Robertson. Anybody know that song? Pretty cool song. And the chorus goes, well, I won't try to sing it, but the lyric says, who else is going to bring you a broken arrow? Who else is going to bring you a bottle of rain when you're gone? Moving across the water. When you're gone, turning my whole world around. But I just love that those images. Who else is going to bring you a broken arrow? Who else is going to bring you a bottle of rain? You know, they're just like, they're images that talk to you. They talk to your body and everything in a way you can't even describe, right? Like it just.
I love that album. Yeah.
Okay, you know it.
Yes, yes.
So that phrase haunted me, and I wanted to write something like that at some point in my life, but I couldn't push it because I just sort of didn't have the reference. Still don't, not really. But I found one. I was driving from LA to San Francisco by myself, and there's some pretty on the 101, and there's some pretty dry, you know, areas out there, but it's big wide open highway, and you know, like kind of dry hills and like this going north on the 101. And I came by this basically kind of a ranch sort of a thing. There was this really well irrigated big field of green grass or something akin to it, you know, cabbage. I don't know what it was. It was deep green though. And there were these horses that were there. And I just had this thought, you know, I wish you green grass and rainwater. It just was like that, because I just like, I'm happy for you, horses. You know, that was my feeling. It's like, may you have all that you desire, you know,
Sweet.
green grass and rainwater and everything, you know.
Wow.
And I thought, broken arrow, bottle of rain. It worked. It clicked, you know. And that's what started that song. It's like, okay, you know, I wish you green grass and rainwater, you know. And somehow I found my way to Mexico, a disaster, and, you know, the girlfriend and all that, you know.
Yeah. So I picked a good one to talk about. It's interesting. Yeah, a good song too.
We don't want to hog this, Alberto. Let's make sure we're not taking up all the time with songs and writing.
But you did pick a good one. I think you did.
Oh, I thought you had another one.
No, he just said he picked a good one.
No. I mean, I was talking about this one.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
I said, it's a good one. Yeah.
Good one. Yeah, that he picked.
And these are the kind of
thank you.
far-fetched things, you know, with the songwriting thing, you know, all of you who are interested in songwriting, these kind of far-reaching, you know, references that some point that it clicks, you know. So you have to have a big mind, you know. This is the only way I know how to find a way to describe it, but very spacious. You know, don't be beating yourself up, telling yourself you can't do it. Let anything come in. On a similar note, and again, I hope you don't mind I'm going on about the songwriting thing, but I don't have a guitar and I like talking about it. But I wrote this song, and most of you probably are not aware of these recordings, but there are 5 recordings you can find on iTunes that I did with Mike McDonald, writing, and
Fixing on the lights.
you know, we wrote most of it together, but there's one song that I wrote alone, and it's called Perfect Illusion. So you can find this. It's Mike McDonald, Robben Ford, Unfinished Business. It's just 5 songs, and you can find it on iTunes.
A Perfect Illusion song is so beautiful. Everyone should hear that. It's actually one of my favorite songs.
It's one of my favorite things I ever wrote. It's almost akin in a way, kind of same tempo and feel as Green Grass, really. Open G, A minor, just kind of using those cowboy chords, as I call them. But so I was in Nashville to write with Mike. I called him up. I hadn't seen him in years. I had done his very first solo tour with him and played on 2 songs on his first album. But I hadn't seen him or talked to him in a long time. And I called him up and I said, hey, Mike, I'm making a new album. Could we write some songs together? And this is just the way we hooked up. The other thing came later. But he said, yeah, absolutely. He said, I'll come out there or you come out here. I said, don't worry about it. I'll come out there, man. You know, so I flew out to Nashville and hung with him for 4 days writing. And we wrote Nothing to Nobody together in that hang. And then I was out, I just took a walk. I just got, you know, like you're working, you know, all day. And I just said, I need to get some air. And I just walked out the driveway, which was quite long. And I came back and I saw what looked like a jewel flashing, you know, down in the stones of the driveway, rocks, just rocks. And I go down there, I thought it was a jewel, and it's like, it was water. And it was just water on a rock, and it was just glistening in a certain way that made it look like a jewel, you know, to my eye in that moment, you know, and I thought, perfect illusion. You know, I mean, it's like, it was the perfect illusion. So I'm like, perfect illusion. I wrote it down. And I wrote the song like years later. I don't remember how many years, like when we did the that album that we wrote together was Supernatural. Excuse me. And the things that we wrote together were in the teens of the 20s, I'm pretty sure. And anyway, I'm not going to look any deeper, but point being, wrote it down, and it took time, you know. And what I just decided one day, that's a great title. I've got to write this song, you know. And Kelly and I are both Buddhists, you know, so we have this kind of sense of life being a dream. And that's basically kind of what the song hints at. So everything is an illusion, you know. But you, my friend, are the perfect illusion, you know, that kind of thinking. So, you know, again, it's just like, you know, who you are as a person, you know, you let it inform. You don't try to be, you know, somebody else, you know, in your work too much. You know, you don't try to imitate. You need your own resources. If you're going to be a songwriter, you need to, here it is. There's your songwriting. It's inside there, you know, it's not out there. Same with the guitar. It's not out here. It's in here, listening, you know, taking it in, letting it come out, you know, through your hands, you know. So enough of that.
Could I ask?
Well,
Can
thank
you
you.
hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. My daughter is a practicing Buddhist, and long time. Anyway, what I wondered was, it seems like to me you take physical things in your surroundings, look at the relationships, look at the metaphorical relationships, and then build a song. So what I'm wondering is, obviously it's internal talent and stuff, but do you start with those ideas and lyrics and then that leads to a melody, or is it an interchangeable process?
It's an interchangeable process. But let me say this, because I think it's really helpful. in in everything with playing music and, playing guitar, you can, like I say often in the dojo, you've been here, John, for a while, I say often in the dojo, give yourself an assignment,
Mm.
you have to have a starting place. Something has to be there, So the title thing, I got into that because of the, we've talked about the Jimmy Webb book called Tunesmith. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Yeah, get it. Jimmy Webb Tunesmith. It's just great. I mean, shit, nobody's written that fucking book but him, pardon my French. Nobody has written that book.
Great, perfect French. You said you couldn't, you were functionally, you're only
Thought you said you didn't-
person.
Yeah.
Merci, Monsieur. So,
It's
and
American pigs. That's perfect French, Anyway, sorry.
so that's okay. There are, a couple of gems that I took from it. I got a lot from the book, but, the two things that he says, in order to write a song, you need to have a title and an idea of what the song is about. So like Perfect Illusion, I had the title, there it is, Perfect Illusion, but what's the song about? And sometimes you find your way through fooling around with words for a while, and then something clicks, But Perfect Illusion, again, that kind of Buddhist analogy, everything's a dream, but wow, that kind of notion.
Thank you.
Well, that's not at all. Yeah. In order to write a song, you have to do that. He was also very much he was about the strong rhyme. I really have took that to heart. I mean, both these things, I took them to heart. So I'm a hard rhyme guy. And country music, barely a hard rhyme to be found. They don't care. They don't care. I mean, like I was told, we don't care. So I know that they don't care about the hard rhyme. But I'm like, Jimmy Webb says hard rhyme, and I'm like, it's a discipline. It's a way for me to work. It makes me work, and I like that. I like having these things that like an assignment, and this helps you just get into it and, start, moving in that direction. So song title and what the song is about.
When you say, Robben, hard rhyme, what does it mean? What does it mean?
It means time and rhyme, but time and high don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So the hard rhyme is literal rhyme. You don't just have the vowel E and I,
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need that? Honestly, I'm curious.
Well,
Because there's lots of songs.
it's a debate.
Lots of songs that are written that are
I know.
quite profound and beautiful, and they don't rhyme exactly, but it's actually sometimes has more meaning. And
Yeah.
if you have to rhyme it, feels like you're almost losing, okay, I have to find something that rhymes with that. And what if whatever you find that doesn't rhyme with it isn't actually have a deep meaning for you, even though it rhymes? You're like, okay, well, it rhymes, so then it should work.
Well, that would be the debate.
Yeah. I mean,
Right. I think I understand the need to put, an artificial limitation, like telling yourself, all right, I'm not gonna play a flattened seventh in this tune, or let's do it in a weird tuning, or I'm only gonna write songs in the afternoon. Arbitrary limitations can lead to creativity, right?
Yes.
So why not?
Yeah.
So why not?
all right.
It's just a practice. It's not a hard rule. Yeah.
An approach. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a way to get yourself. And you might say to yourself, today, screw it. I'm going to write a song and I'm not going to have a hard rhyme anywhere.
Right.
So these are reasons to get you to write.
Or indeed remove all the hard rhymes you felt you had to do.
However you want to do it, One of my favorite
Robben,
stories. One of my favorite
Right, I
little
suppose.
stories, I've told it here on the dojo a couple of times, so please forgive me for repeating myself, but the song Rose of Sharon, it's the lead off song on my album, Into the Sun. And I gave myself the assignment to write a song about a rose, you know, using a rose analogy. And I knew it's just the worst thing because it's so overdone. Rose, oh, a rose, you're like a rose, you know, roses are red, you know, like what the hell? And I'm like, so I'm going to write a song about a rose. I literally that was my work. I gave myself that work. And, I started the song. I wasn't thinking about writing that song yet, but I had already come up with the opening riff to the song, which is one of my favorite things I've ever done. I think that song, Rose of Sharon. But anyway, and it had this bleak sort of Midwestern, like Dust Bowl, you know, feeling to it. Funky, bluesy, you know, kind of thing. And I remembered from the film, I had seen the play live, but it didn't matter. I saw the film earlier of the play, Grapes of Wrath. And it's a story about a Depression era family, Dust Bowl, who comes out to California to work, you know, pick grapes, whatever. And they're just the Beverly Hillbillies looking, you know, but for real and hard, you know, hard times. Everything's packed onto their truck, you know. And the guy's daughter's name is Rose of Sharon. And I'm like, yes, I've been saved. I don't have to write these stupid analogies about a rose. So, you know, it was like, I was saved. That's how I felt. But had I not had the rose thing going, I never would have found Rose of Sharon, you know? So it's just be open, big mind, you know, big mind, you know?
Robben, are you still studying guitar, like learning new things, challenging yourself with, I don't know, classical or flamenco or anything like that on a regular basis?
No, but as I've said here, you know, the dojo's made me start practicing again. And I like that, you know, and I do practice. I do practice the guitar more than I have in a long time. And it's because of the dojo, you know, because I really want to, you know, we want to do a good job here, you know, so it's like, well, I should challenge myself a little bit, you know, so I work on things and then I find things to talk about that I had, you know, not talked about before. So I love it. I benefit, you know, from this. There was a period I was getting ready to like not care anymore, you know. I mean, I always loved to play, but not worry about learning so much and just, you know, just play. The dojo has me learning again, you know, and it's great, you know.
Vincent,
Robben, could you say just a little bit about what you might do when you sit down to practice?
Yes.
yes,
Okay, I'm gonna
let's go
talk
back to
Jim
that.
about that, and then Vincent will come to you. You got a question there.
Oh,
So
I didn't
Jim.
use the hand, sorry. Yes, sorry, I didn't
All right,
use the
that's all right.
All right.
No worries, no worries, no worries. It's all good. Jim, you're not going away,
Yeah.
are you?
Nope. Hung up the guitar, sorry.
Jim,
I've been recently working on my picking technique in a way that I never had, in a new way. So I grew up just downstrokes and pull-offs. That's all I had. Never occurred to me to go this way with the pick because it just seemed awkward. You know?
Okay.
So downstroke, okay, I guess I pull that off to make it sound, you know. And at a certain point, I just thought, I was listening to jazz players all the time. I wanted to play jazz. I wanted to be a jazz player. So I thought, you know, the back and forth picking technique must be the way to go. So I started doing the back and forth picking technique. The other things don't go away. So this is something I think that people should appreciate. If you practice something new, that doesn't mean the other thing has to go away. It's something you already have. It's in your pocket, and you can pull it out when you need it, you know? So I started back and forth picking technique, and that was it. After that, it's like, okay, I'm doing the back and forth thing, come what may. And recently, again, this is kind of was the thing with the dojo that I can't remember exactly what inspired me to do it, but I started working with my picking technique. Like, you know, I just did a downstroke on the D string, and now I want to do an upstroke on the A string, and that doesn't make sense, right? Boom. Now you're going backwards and up, and it doesn't make sense. If you go down on the D string, you can go up on the G string very easily. It's right there. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to use back and forth picking technique, I'm going to, you know, move in that direction. So I actually play different things because I'm doing that. It makes me play things that I wouldn't normally play because I would play something out of habit. And I never even thought about the fact that this is actually awkward, you know? So so my picking technique I've started working on, and I've started bringing in, you know, down, 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 you know.
Oh yeah, right.
Then back, you know, which I thought, oh no, I'm doing the back and forth thing. I can't go down, down, down. You know, it got locked into my head, back and forth, you know. So
Wow.
I'm working on the down, 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 like 3 down, I give myself, and then 1 up. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it, you know, or, you know, 2 down, 1 up.
Okay.
3 down, 1 up. And that's about as far as I can go, you know.
And then here, one of the next riffs, I think the next riff you talk about that. That's going to be coming.
Yeah, we just,
Hopefully after
Okay.
we're having some video editing issues. So when they come,
yeah, Sonic.
there's a lesson on it. You talk about it.
And
Cool.
Robin, I'm sorry.
If it's
No,
on the
Robin.
same subject, John, okay, but otherwise I should.
Yeah, it
go-
is.
Okay, go ahead.
Real quick on picking. And I've read that you use the side of your pick. True or not? And did you do that on purpose, or did it just happen?
It was a deliberate choice, and I used the butt end of the pick, right? I used the regular Fender heavy,
Right.
and I play not with the point, but with the back end of the pick.
Okay.
And side of the pick, you know, that's,
Yeah, not the point anyway. Yeah.
yeah, not the point, yeah. Hey,
Thank
Vince, go ahead, man. Vincent, what, are you there? Ask to unmute. Are you there, Vincent? I froze you.
Yeah, so my sound just broke for a second. I had a quick question on the subject of titles, because one title that you have, it's not from a lyrical song, but an instrumental on the Pure album, Milam Palmo. What is that?
That's her. That's one of her Buddhist names.
I see, because when he was talking about Buddhism, that I started, it must be, but it's very unique, and you can't find, like, I looked it up and to see if I could find anything about it, but everything, the first 100 results is you, so there you go.
What does it mean, babe?
Dream lady.
Dream lady.
Wow.
And a great artist too, I might add.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
And I have a photography website with all of my photos coming very soon. A lot of the photos of Robben's guitars. So stay tuned.
Nice.
yeah. Milan
Milan Photo Arts.
it's the new website.
Yeah, the new one.
But there's also
Yeah, but that's just.
all right, I won't say anything. But and check it out. So this is like, again, how these things evolve. Like, so that's Milan Palmo, right? So my first love song to this girl was it's on the Purple House record, and it's called Wild Honey. And if you check out Wild Honey, and then you kind of listen to Milan Palmro,
I'm getting embarrassed now.
you'll see that there's a thread,
Nice.
in there. And again, this is how composers work. You know what I mean? This is just I'm saying this kind of as a composer's tip. It's like, okay, well, let's carry that thread. Where might that thread go? We talked about this last time with I think the other group. Some of you may have been here, but good composers borrow, great composers steal, and you can steal from yourself. So I stole from myself.
Nice. Conceptual continuity.
Conceptual continuity. Have you heard the Purple House album, Vincent?
I don't think I have. So I'll give that a listen for sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I've heard it in passing, but like not sit down and listen to it.
Oh, you're missing
It's a
something.
good record.
I will.
Now, these two things, my last two records for me, I mean, like, I'm just very proud. Also, if you're interested, the Renegade Creation, have you heard Renegade? Renegade Creation, Bullet, that album.
Maybe you can do your next album at Abbey Road.
I looked into it, and it's 6,000 pounds a day.
We can get you a deal.
And that's just a visit. I'm kidding, but it's 6,000 pounds a day.
My friend is very good friends with Rob Castair. I'll have to inquire, see if you can get you a rate.
Well, I would certainly be interested. Thank you.
Yeah.
Even a little tour wouldn't be bad.
Okay. You got it, Robin.
Where are you?
He's over there. That's Dan.
That's
Dan.
me over here.
Hi, Dan. You're in New York.
I left New York for Pennsylvania. Remember, I'm in the Poconos now.
Oh, that's
I'm in
right.
the-
You moved.
Ah.
I'm
That's
in the
right.
Pocono Mountains.
I recognize you with your hat on there, and you have a different background. There we
There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
I'm in my amp room now.
Ah.
Clearly.
Well, email me at Kelly.
I will.
Ford.
I
You'll-
will do that. I will
After
put my feelers out and let you know.
Thank you, man. That would
Well,
be sweet.
Yep.
Just putting it out there, we're looking, right now, we're applying for the London visa for Robben's global talent. So we're looking for letters from people in the cultural organizations that could recommend Robben to move here. So we have a bunch of contacts, but if anybody knows, we're just putting it out there.
And you know Bernie Marsden as well, right? You've met Bernie on the cruise. Oh, that's something I always wanted to ask you. I was on that first Bonamassa Blues cruise in 2015.
Yeah.
It didn't look like you were feeling good at one point during that. Did you get seasick? Did you enjoy that
Yeah.
experience?
No, I get seasick really easily. And, those acupuncture things, the wristband with the acupuncture needle,
Right.
really works. But I'd start feeling better and I'd take it off.
Yeah.
And then, oh,
Okay, so you were feeling ill.
probably.
Yeah. Okay.
They're really good for morning sickness too, if anyone has a pregnant wife.
This crowd here, I don't think so.
So, sorry.
I'm not seeing it.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Anybody over here? Is there someone that we're missing?
They're just
That
looking at the
okay.
both screens.
Just thought I would check out the other screen, maybe someone. But any technical guitar questions? Because I'll go off on something. All right, I'm gonna go.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Seriously.
I have one, but someone else might have had their hand up, so you go ahead.
Oh,
No, you're good.
he did.
Oh,
We have
Oh.
something. So
Marco.
Marco Gaza has his hand up. Marco?
Yeah, the hand up thing really helps, by the way, everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. It's my first time at the dojo. I just subscribed a week ago or something, and so it's completely honor and pleasure to be here. And
Thank you.
Welcome.
meet you both and all the guys here. So thank you for doing that. And yeah, so my question is not actually technical, but I saw in the dojo in the web pages that's written that you are always serving the music. you know. It's something that really hits me because, you know, I spend all the time, you know, practicing and trying to play like somebody else, you know.
Yeah.
And like a couple of years ago, I had kind of an epiphany, and I realized that it's my own sound that I have to look for and express, you know.
Yeah.
And this has a lot to do with serving, by the way, because after that, I actually have been asked by friends to play together and not doing, you know, special things, just be there, counting and be present, be in service of the singers, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly fulfilling. You know? And I mean, I didn't look for something, you know, to be, you know, under the lights and, you know, on the spot.
Right.
It just was serving, you know, others. And it was great, you know, it's something new for me. So I was wondering if you can expand a little bit on that, because it really, you know, clicked in my musical experience now.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's just really awesome. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's something that it's hard for people to learn because they're never in that situation, or they're rarely in that situation where people are saying, "Hey, are you listening to me?" You know, because people just get together and play and they have fun, they enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel very fortunate that, you know, at a very early age, you know, I was playing with, they were the top studio musicians in LA, like literally the top studio musicians in LA, all of a sudden out of the blue. And I'm just a little blues guitar player from Northern California, you know. I don't know why they hired me. I still don't to this day, but I'm glad they did. And it was always like, you know, look, I've got the upper register covered. Get out of there, you know, because it's small group, like, right? It's like guitar, bass, drums, keyboard, singer, something like this, right? Everybody has their function. So that's serving the music right there. I mean, the singer, he'll, you know, generally they have the front, of course, or the melodist, the saxophone player, but it was just such a beautiful thing. It takes all that, it takes weight off of you, you know, and it also challenges you to be supportive. How can I help this person? You know, how can I help this situation be musical? And it took me a long time. I would say I started working with those guys when I was 21. And I would say it took me a good 10 years before I actually really felt like I understood it, you know, or like where I felt unintimidated, you know, because just like, you know, you're playing with people and they're playing all this cool shit. And I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna play? I don't know, you know, because you have to make it up on the spot. You have to jump right in there, you know?
Yeah, right.
So over time, you know, I was able to develop confidence through experience, you know? So you have to keep doing it to be confident, you know? That was my experience anyway, because I was terrified.
Yeah.
I'm around all these great musicians and they seem to be just doing it willy-nilly, you know?
Really.
I'm like, And I honestly don't feel like I really became a really good rhythm guitar player until in my 40s, you know? That's when, and that's a lot of guitar playing. I started when I was 13. So, but anyway, indeed, it's so sweet that you said that about serving the music and you found it fulfilling and just like right there on the spot.
Yeah. It was really, you know, like disappearing was a blessing, you know, something like that. You know, it's amazing.
You're all in it together, and it's the real meaning of making music. Is it's an ensemble.
That's right.
It's us.
That's right.
not about
Right.
me or trying to prove something, or that's it. Thank you for that,
Yeah.
Marco.
Well, thank you. I spent so much, of my years in studying and trying to,
Yeah.
be the special guest, and that's bullshit, definitely. So much.
You're the man.
You just made Robin very happy.
So we have
Happy.
Brian Jones, you have your hand up.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I guess this one is sort of a technical question, but just developing phrasing and flowing from phrase to phrase, playing lines. I mean, that's for me probably my favorite thing about the way you play is that one idea leads to another idea, leads to another idea very, very naturally. I think I could probably pick any song, but if I pick one that most people probably know, Magic Sam from Inside Story, the solo and the melodies you play over that, I mean, I can hear specific parts of it where there's motifs involved, but sometimes it really isn't like a single idea. It seems that you're building on, it's just one idea after another. And I'm wondering how you do that, or if there's a way to practice that.
Well, that was it's a hard song to play and make music on, because the chords, these dominant seventh chords, and they move in this way, and it's a hard song to play. And that particular solo there are a lot of edits. Like I played it and played it and played it. That guitar solo is kind of a composite of 8 or 9 takes.
Okay.
So I think that's why it sounds like new idea, new idea, new idea, new idea, right?
Right. I mean, if it's easier to answer the question more generally, that's okay too. I just picked that as like an obvious point of reference because it sounds so good, and I would imagine most people know it. But I mean, I could probably pick any other, any other solo of yours off of, Talk to Your Daughter, any other album really would work.
Well, let me see if I can say something here. I feel something ruminating in there about this, because it's a hard thing to describe, I think, because like for me, first of all, I can't say never. I've like on a couple of songs in my whole life, have I composed a solo. Yeah, I didn't even necessarily compose it, but after I played it and it went on the record, it just seemed like the right shit, and so I play it every time. 2 songs that happened on. But see, I like not knowing what's going to happen next, and so that's leaves you out on a limb. And so it's like when you think, like if you've played something quickly, like this would be like kind of a technical way of.
And I'm surprised why.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, he's gone.
I just did a boo-boo with my Wi-Fi, so we're okay. At least we got. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Oh, sorry, I had a little nosh.
There's the real reason.
Oh, something went wrong. Oh,
I need a snack. Yeah.
Something.
Oh.
Just
Definitely done that at work.
Hanging with that big secret you were about to reveal.
Yes. So to me, like, well, first of all, I've always listened to lyrical players. It's being lyrical. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the definition, of this approach, and it's being lyrical. There was a great little quote, I guess, from the great saxophone player Paul Desmond. Are you familiar with Paul Desmond?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Take 5, Dave Brubeck Quartet.
Yep.
So, Desmond said, when Charlie Parker came on the scene, it just shocked everybody. And so everybody was playing like Charlie Parker. And when he realized that everybody was playing like Charlie Parker, not just him, he made a choice. And he said, I decided to go with lyrical, what was the way how he put it? But I decided to go with melodic invention. I think that was the phrase. So that's what I do. I go with, I went with, because of listening to him. I've been listening to him since I was 10. And I started on the alto saxophone. But I was always gravitated towards the people who sounded like they were talking to me instead of blowing me away. So I grew up that way. That's just, my ear has always been attuned to, oh, that person's singing to me. They're actually saying something to me. And I'm going to go that way,
Is there a way, is there like a way you can sort of structurally practice that? Or is that just like a trial and error type thing to get the sounds you want?
I think it takes a lot of nerve, but also on a technical way of looking at it, if you played something fast, play something slow.
Yeah.
If you've played something high, play something low, play something in the middle. And there are all these things, they're all over the place in music. I was starting to kind of go into this when we were talking about songwriting, because it's the same. If you go, do-da-da, if you play those three notes, you've just structured a whole bunch of shit that's laid out in front of you. Do-da-da, play it up a fourth, do-da-da, play it up a fourth, da-da-da. You have places to go by going up a fourth, or just go up the scale, harmonize the scale. Doodle-da, 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 doodle-da. If you do that really fast, people are going to think you're a genius. And all you did was play three notes and go, okay, I'll move that up to major scale. Up and, in a harmonized way.
Yeah, this stuff, the phrasing stuff, melody, to me is so much more abstract and difficult to get the way I want to sound it versus harmonic stuff, which is a little bit easier to define, scale versus chord progression, stuff like that is a bit easier to get your head around.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but one can inform the other.
Yeah, makes sense. One quick follow-up, and then I know other people have their hands up. I'm curious on your multiple takes thing. Was the first song on the first Blue Line album like that too? Because I mean, that one sounds perfect, and I almost can't imagine somebody did that on the fly. but I know that's your style, so I'm just curious.
No, that is that's pretty straight through. I remember the day.
Yeah.
And I even used two guitars. You might hear it in there. I'm sorry, you're talking about the brother, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I used to have a 355, it was a 59 355. And I had my Robben Ford, model, I can't remember which one I was playing, from Fender, the Elite.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one I was playing because I had a couple that I used to use. So anyway, I would take a pass, just go, and I would take another pass and just go. Like that was a way that I started working for a while. And then take another pass, take another pass. It wound up being really, it's a terrible way to go about it if you're making records. And what I came to was play until it breaks down. I'm not happy. Boom, stop. Okay. Because I'm still there. I'm still in the tune. I'm playing, I'm there. It's like, okay, whoa, just go back 4 bars, pick it up, let's go. And I'm still in it, and I would start playing again, at that point, and we do it until it breaks down. And I'm like, back 4 bars, let's go. Bang, boom. And go again, So that's how that guitar solo was done. In that spirit. And I just, I was so happy that I actually came across that approach. I mean, you know, because in the past it was always play to the end. Okay, oh, go back to the beginning. Oh, I'll play again. You know, that's the way I used to do it.
Yeah, that's smart. Well, that one worked out well, man. One for the history books for sure. Thanks.
Thank you. I like that one. That's pretty good.
I think Damon,
Who was
hey,
that?
Damon, you had a question I saw a bit ago.
I did, but then I looked at the time and I decided to put my hand down.
Okay,
and
why
let
don't
others.
you ask it? You're always here and we don't talk to you too much.
Yeah, we're happy to hear from you.
Well, it was to do with the fact that we recently, the world recently gave up David Crosby's ghost, and it got me thinking about how he taught Joni Mitchell some alternate tunings, and I inherited some of those tunings early in my life, and I've been recreating my own versions of them ever since. But I just wanted to know if you ever explored alternate or open tunings and then abandoned them because they weren't for you.
Well, you know, the closest I got to that was slide guitar, you know, and I took my crack at the slide guitar. I was still in high school, I think. And, you know, I broke a bottle and scraped it on the ground so that it wouldn't cut me. And that was my slide, you know. And I tried that for a little while. And I'm a big Mike Bloomfield fan, you know. And Bloomfield plays slide guitar all over that first Butterfield record. But my interest in jazz was so keen that it became more about the notes, you know, and the harmony, and tuning the guitar differently would have made it hard for me to find the chord and the note. So yeah, I kind of let that one go. You have that sense, you know, Damon, of like, you have to make choices. Know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You have to, that's okay. I'm not going to be so great at that. You know, I'll be better at this over here kind of thing. It's interesting, you know. You have to make choices. So that was one that I made, and it was a real decision. You know?
I think we all fully support that decision and where it's led you. So,
well, thank you. You know, the guy who made me regret it a little bit is Derek Trucks. You know, Derek just he really, I think because of the Indian influence. You know, there's that Indian influence in Derek's playing. You know, and he developed that touch, that, you know, kind of thing that you might hear on a sitar, or, you know, some Indian, you know, sarod playing or something like that, you know. I'm like, wow, that's very cool. Okay, one more. Alberto, did you have a question and we didn't get to it?
Yeah, very quick question. That's probably has been asked already in the past. When you write a song, how do you start? From the lyrics, from the melody, from the progression, or could be any of them?
Yeah, it could be any of them. You know, that song, Rose of Sharon, we were talking about earlier, you know, I just sat down with the guitar and I was acoustic on my couch, and I just found that thing like right away, you know, and I'm like, that's cool. And I also had this idea floating around about the rose. So I'm going to challenge myself, you know. These things came together independently. They're just ideas, you know. And then I went out to get something from my studio, which I've never had a recording equipment. It's just a room, you know, with music paper and shit like that, you know. And I saw the phrase, I lead with my left. That phrase had come to mind. I wrote it down. I lead with my left. You know, you lead with your heart, kind of, you know, I lead with my left. Naturally, you lead with your right. Right? It's just right there. This is, I really believe this about songwriting. You come up with your first line, you've written the song, you just don't know it yet. It's all just laying there on the ground. So these three things came together without, you know, I wasn't looking for that line. I just glanced over and saw it on a piece of paper, and I'd written it down I don't know how long ago. And then, oh, the rose thing. And then, okay, you know, this sounds like Dust Bowl. Oh, Rose of Sharon, you know. So I think it's really like, you know, let it come to you. I think that's the thing. These things, they will come to you if you will sit in the space, you know.
Stay open, yeah. Stay open.
Just sit in that space, you know, like, you know, you can't make it up, and you always need some place to start, something, some little cue, and that, you know, generally kind of takes you along.
Did you say that's sort of like blue sky, like this idea, that idea? There's like different idea, and then you kind of grab. You sort of this one. Let's go with that, and that kind of.
No,
No?
it's kind of different, I think.
Okay, different than divine work.
Blue sky. This is like, you know, Kelly's, you know, acronym for just being open and, you know, being creative and letting it come to you. You know, it's a good one. I feel like it's more like I pick up that. Oh, that. Circle.
Yeah.
Space, circle, life circle.
So it's like they're there, you're looking for them.
You
right?
pick them up off the ground.
Mhm.
That's
So
what
they're there, you search for them.
Yeah, they're laying around, you know. You
And
just
also
pick it up.
allowing them to come to you.
Yeah, allow it to talk to you. You know, 'cause it'll say something. You know, I mean, like again, like with that song, you know, I lead with my left. It's a perfect. You lead with your right. It's just right there. And it's like, oh, that's a fight. So the next line is, the dust finally settles. You're clean out of sight. Dust clean.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that. You know, that is one of the ways that I work, you know. And just kind of let it be, and never, it's never done. No, always, no, never. It's like, you know, I read books by Oscar Hammerstein II and Stephen Sondheim. These are Broadway writers, you know, Leonard Bernstein, you know what I mean? I've looked deep. And, you know, one thing Oscar Hammerstein II said was, you know, never stop, you know, making the song better until you can't make it any better anymore. The lyric, you know, but that could apply to anything. If you feel it could be a little better, you know, I think there was maybe a better way of saying that. Okay, look for it. You'll find another way of saying it. And if that doesn't work for you, well, look for another one. Eventually you will find it. You know, it's laying around, you know. That's how I feel about it.
All right.
Okay. We got to join some friends here in town. I don't want to, but we got to go.
Enjoy.
I don't want to.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Do it a
No,
couple
thank you, guys. Thank you.
next week
You're
or-
very welcome. Our
Right.
pleasure.
Take it easy.
Thank you for your visit.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Till
Cheers.
next.
Next time. A biento.
Goodbye.